Leading up to the state funeral of former President Nelson Mandela, we have political cartoonist Zapiro joining us in the studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I know you've met Mandela a few times. Can you tell us about what it was like the very first time you met him?
The very first time I met him, I went on the coattails of my wife, who's a photographer, and she had had a fantastic chance to meet him and track him doing the stills for a documentary. And then she set up a shoot on a day that they were doing a day in the life of the new South Africa. And I said, well, you're going to need someone to carry your bags. And she said, as long as you don't say who you are, because it was 94, you know, certainly he would have known something about me, I reckon. But we did the shoot, and she did a fantastic shot of him, and I was just introduced as Jonathan. We had a lovely time with him, and then at the end of it, she said, okay. So I said, well, actually, she said, this is my husband is the cartoonist Zapiro. Oh, Zapiro! Oh, how good to meet you. And then he went into the various cartoons. He loved the cartoons, and he was really into them, and he'd known them much more and much longer than I expected.
Wow.
And he made me feel like the most special person in the world, which is, I gather, how many people feel when they meet him.
Now, I think I know the answer to this from that story, but do you think he appreciated satire?
He definitely did. I mean, he wasn't making it up, that he really did know the cartoons, he really did appreciate them. And then, of course, as things got a little bit more difficult in his presidency, and there were issues with his cabinet, with criticism of him, I mean, I actually had the experience of learning for sure that he really understood satire. Well, it was 4 years after I met him, 3.5 years afterwards. It was an ordinary day, and I got a phone call apparently from the president's office. They said, "President's office on the line," so I'm busy drawing, and then this voice says, "Hold for President Mandela." And I thought, okay, that's a joke.
Yeah.
And then this voice goes, "Hello, is that Zapiro?" And I said, "Yes." "This is President Mandela." And I was completely taken aback. Obviously it was him. And then he said, "I'm very upset with you." And I thought, you know, finally he actually is not happy with the cartoons. And then it turns out that he was just playing around with me, as he tended to do with a lot of people. And he just had seen that the cartoons that he used to see in Cape Town in the Argus, republished from the Sowetan in Johannesburg, would not be there anymore. And he really loved seeing them every day when he was in Parliament. And he phones me himself. So I said, "Look, I'm obviously overwhelmed, and thank you so much. But I'm even more amazed, because you would have seen the cartoons getting more and more critical over the past few years of the ANC and of government." And he said, "Oh, but that is your job."